The Suicidal Man, tale by Rolando Enrique Rosales Murga. There are many people who, day after day, dream of ending their lives. But when the moment of truth arrives, who remains steadfast in their resolve to die? It is truly horrifying to feel the moment when death takes root in our skin. It begins to slide slowly along its path until, from one moment to the next, the transition between realities begin. Are there other worlds? I don't know. But let me tell you about my experience. I remember that afternoon when finally I grew tired of so much suffering and so much sorrow. I wanted to cause great pain to my tormentors, my family. From early in the morning, I was determined to end my life. So I went to visit a friend whom I liked to, so she would get me Ditya, the abominable phosphine pill, or photoxin, the love pill, which with which many disillusioned people have taken their own lives. So I arrived at the local park, and in front of some childhood friends, I took the first quarter of the pill, but it had no effect on me. I couldn't explain it. By that time, I should have been convulsing and foaming at the mouth. I took the other quarter, which amounted to half the pill, a lethal dose, but even so, I felt no fatal effects. I wanted to die, but I only saw a little blur. I then set out to swallow the other three quarters, but as soon as I held it in my hands, I began to vomit. It was blood. Felt as if my insides were being torn out. My body felt cold and very heavy, yet I had no sensation. I was very pale. My nails had a purplish tint. I had begun my journey. I was finally going to Nemnimeon, to the Acheron, where I longed to be. Romeo, one of my friends, started telling me we should go to the hospital, that I needed help. I replied that I wanted to die. With a cigarette in my mouth and sweating profusely, I could barely speak, until there came a moment when my strength gave out. Then I was taken to the National Hospital, where a crowd of onlookers had gathered, questioning me. I just kept smiling, with the pain inside. I was laid on a stretcher in the hospital. The doctor asked his assistant to hand him a gastric tube, which was inserted through one of my nostrils. With that, they began to extract the poison from my body. I felt like I was dying. My sister burst into the room and began to reproach me for my inappropriate behavior. Everyone was crying. I was laughing inside. At last, I could be free from my sorrows. I was admitted, and the night began to be torturous. The tube was making it hard to breathe. I had saline solution in my veins. I couldn't eat or drink. Suddenly, I felt a heavy drowsiness. Then I felt a hand caressing my bed. It was death. She wanted to take me with her. Sleep overcame me. I dreamed that I was reborn, that I was a baby again. But soon I woke up, knowing that the poisoning had been treated in time, that thanks to the hot weather, my body had expelled the pill through sweat. I couldn't sleep with the thought that I would still be alive, but I soon resigned myself to it and found beautiful things in life once more. I watched as one of the patients with tetanus, they said, ran around the room with a sardonic laugh, bothering the others. His illness had driven him mad. There was also one who spent all his time lamenting. There was also my friend the soldier who never slept, they said. And how could I forget the liquor store owner Medardo, who helped me think calmly again? Early the next day, everyone was stunned, since, according to the doctors, I wouldn't make it through the night. I was in very serious condition when I arrived, and now there I was, standing in front of my bed, without a tube, but strengthened once again. My mom and my friends arrived early to see what was happening. They were amazed to see the man who was supposed to be on his deathbed standing there. I was ordered to undergo a slow and thorough process with the local psychologist. So I went, and she began her interview full of questions like this. Doctor, why did you do that? Me. Uh, I had plenty of reasons. Doctor, have you ever heard voices in your head? Me, at least not while I'm sober. Doctor, are you hyperactive? Yes. Depressive? Excessively so. Despite our ridiculous conversation, she determined that I was lucid. At least that was her diagnosis implied, based on many years of experience. I learned to love life. I learned to respect my soul.